Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. This is Joanna from Ascension. I am the founder of Ascension, and we're so happy that you've tuned in today. Whatever day that you plan to watch this, that's fine. You've been drawn to this webcast for a reason. Today we're going to talk about holographic meanings and what does that mean to ascension, and the nature of ascension with the holographic meaning of life. We've probably all heard that there's many aspects of this copy of Earth or this version of Earth, and it's in a holographic nature. So that means that, and there's also holographic versions of you as well. That's why we're called multidimensional aspects of creation. We have many aspects of ourselves, and it's again depending on where we're vibrating at, what our personal resonance is, based on if we've cleared some beliefs, our negative beliefs, definitions, anything that's been holding us back, any belief systems that we've carried on from our society or our social structures, what we've been conditioned to believe from our parents or our friends or schools. Those all have an impact on how we choose to believe who we are. And so we're really looking at the aspect of who we are as human beings right now. And we're understanding that we're much greater than we thought we were. We're much more wise than we thought we were. We have a lot more within us. And as we explore these multidimensional aspects, we understand that that we've had these answers all along. And the more that we work on these ascension aspects and these practical tools that we give you in our classes, and the classes and the meditations and all these things that we offer them because we know that there's things that need to be healed, and there's things that need to be, old habits need to be broken for us to move forward, because everybody comes from a different place. Everybody comes from a different state of mind, and yet we all have soul purposes. We all have our spirit that desire to be singing their song. But how do we do that? How do we get there? And what I've always found when I first started this path many years ago is there was a lot of books out there talking about those authors' particular way of doing things, and they talked about their journey and their path and all that and all the things they've learned, but they've never really taught us how to get there, what to do, what specifically do I do to find this peace, this harmony, this sense of oneness that's always being talked about. And as we ascend, we get more and more in that oneness, that meshing of togetherness, because we understand that there is no separation. Regardless of what nationality or religion that we're brought up under, we still are all under the same stars. We're all under the same sky. We all have the same aspects of having that heart within us. And as we move forward in our ascension, we're letting go of all those old negative things that have been holding us back for many centuries. And now we're coming to terms with the fact that the more we live from that heart-centered space, the more that we combine our heart and our mind aspects, the much more faster that we'll propel ourselves forward, or higher, however you want to look at it. So if we're choosing to live our lives from the heart-centered space, sending unconditional love, even when situations are challenging, when you're letting go of judgment, when you're letting go of the darkness that's held you back, and we all know when those times happen, when you're dealing with certain people or there's certain situations that occur in your life and you're feeling frustrated or angry, those are times when you need to look within and reflect on that. Why am I feeling this way? What is this situation telling me? How is this situation reflecting to me what I need to know? And if you're doing that inner work, if you're doing that reflective time and opening things up, then you're going to expand who you are as a soul. And every time that you have situations like that, I've always told people that it's your soul giving you opportunities to move forward, because there's no accidents, and we've talked about that in the blog earlier. There are no accidents, so that the more that you can tune into all of those situations that happen to you and allow yourself to reflect inward what that's teaching you and how you can move around that and how you can expand within that situation, then you're expanding yourself as a soul. The more that you expand yourself as a soul, the more that you're preparing yourself for future contact, the more you're preparing yourself for ascension, the more you're preparing yourself for more open dialogue with higher realm beings, whether it's your spirit guides, whether it's the angelic realm, whatever it is, because you're preparing your soul at that base level to get wider and bigger and more expansive. And to do that, there is work involved. And we've also said that before, that there's a lot of reasons why most people don't move forward on the path of awakening is because they find it scary, a little dark. When these situations keep coming up, do I have to go inward? How do I go inward? What do I do? What questions do I ask? And why do I still get frustrated? Well, you're still getting frustrated most of the time is because you're having those expectations of how the outcome should be, for you. You're already setting up examples of how this situation should go, and it's not going how it should. And then when you start expanding within yourself, it's always within, then you're starting to grow as a person and as a soul. And we've talked about many aspects of the holographic nature of existence. So that means that at any point in time, you can have those flashes of flipping from one parallel earth to another. And I've had that happen a few times. It's quite fun. So the more that you're expanding yourself and you're awakening many and many aspects of yourself, then you can start to see things differently. You can start to see energy patterns within people that are following when you're working and where you're about. You can see the energy patterns and little specks in the sky and so on and so forth, because you're opening up your expansion, you're opening up your vision to see more than you saw before. And so that's why some people say, well, how come I've never seen UFOs, I've never seen ETs, I've never seen any of this? A lot of people really have, they just don't remember it. There's certain situations where we're just not ready, our soul is just not ready to see those things, and that's fine. So this is where we're preparing ourselves for the day that we do possibly have open contact, and I believe that we will. We do open ourselves up for that higher realm aspect of ourself because it's wanting to come out. It always has and it always will, because the soul's purpose is to evolve. The soul's purpose is to expand and to love and to get greater and bigger and more expansive. The soul can't get expansive when we're living in darkness, when we're living in fear, when we're living in doubt, when we're filling our entire lives with doubt and fear and judgment of others and judgment of ourselves. And our soul can't grow in those aspects. And when we keep negating to look within because we're afraid to look within, then we're never going to evolve. The only place we're going to be is continuing to be in that dark space within us and not allowing it to get out and be healed and be loved. And so when we're talking about the holographic nature of Earth and ascension, is that there's many, many aspects that you can choose by free will to be on whatever planet Earth that you choose to experience. And the more that you expand yourself, the more that you raise your vibration, your personal resonance, your personal vibration, you're going to flip to whatever earth that is resonating at that time. And so there could be, say, a 70% of that personality person that you are resonating on a higher vibrational earth. And there's still, say, 30% that is still working on some things to move it up the ladder, the ascension ladder, so I say, because everything is in stages. It's very rarely that people hop from one to another or just overnight, unless they've done a huge amount of work. But it is a step-by-step process because we've been conditioned. We've been brought up in various aspects of other people's beliefs. And the more that we can teach people to be free with who they are, to allow themselves to speak clearly, to allow themselves to define who they are with pride and conviction, and allow themselves to walk boldly on their path and add whatever it is that's creative from their soul to the earth, because we all have something to give. And when we act on those urges, when we act on those inspirations, when we act on those ideas, they come purely from the higher self, from the higher aspect of who we are, allowing us to take opportunity to change this physical reality here so that we can ascend to higher levels. You're never ever given an inspiration or idea that you can't act on. And most people just choose not to act because it does take work, it takes effort. And when you choose not to act, then you stay in that same resonating vibration. So if you're choosing to move forward and act, then you're expanding yourself as a soul. Because remember, everything in this physical reality is just an illusion. You're working on the soul level and the spirit level. So as you take all these things in and you work on them and you reflect on them and you journal and you meditate and you're doing everything that you can in a positive way and you're flowing easily with life, then you're expanding your opportunities, those neural pathways that are in your brain, allowing you to see things you never saw before. And that's opportunities, connections with people, circumstances and situations. You're opening those opportunities, those doorways, those windows for things to come to you. Not necessarily you have to go seeking it. As long as you're working on your soul itself, then things will just flow to you with the intention and the heart-centered emotions that you're working with. So when we connect that heart-centered emotions with our minds, then there's nothing that can stop us. And we've talked about that before in our manifestation classes as well. is that when we're connecting our whole aspect of ourselves instead of just our mind, but that's only a partial aspect of who we are, and it's really the lowest part of who we are, our physical brain. When we're working with the heart itself, the heart space, which we are all connected with all that is through our heart, and the heart is our basic aspect of the soul because it allows us to feel, it allows us to exude that most powerful, precious emotion and light energy out to the infinite ends of space, just from that heart chakra, pouring out and spewing out as fast as the speed of light to the infinite ends of the universe. Those beams of light can be felt. And the more that you do that, you're allowing opportunities for higher realm beings to connect with that energy. And it's not a matter of people have said, you know, other species are going to come down and save us, if we get to that point where we're going to destroy ourselves and so on and so forth. And yes, that's possible, obviously, because they don't want to see us destroy ourselves any more than any of us do. There's a large portion of society that's just not moving, and they're not evolving. They're okay to stay where they are, and that's fine too. There's no judgment on that at all, because it takes everything under the creation of all that is an aspect of that as well. There is no separation. And remember that as you ascend, when we're releasing judgment, we're releasing the way to separate ourselves from one another, because that's what's caused all the problems in the past. For hundreds of years, we've allowed ourselves to be separated. We've allowed ourselves to believe that there is separation there, that you're different, that I'm different. And just because you believe in this, you're different than me, and so on and so forth. But there isn't. We are all one. And some people just haven't awoken to that yet, and that's fine too. The ones that are awakening to it, those are the ones that get passionate about hearing about this kind of stuff and knowing that you can change your day tomorrow if you like, or the next moment if you like, depending on where you want to resonate at. Where does your soul really speak for you to do right now? And you act on it. So if you're getting an inspiration to do something, act on it. It's going to propel you in that next direction to act on something else and act on something else and so on and so on. And therefore your soul expands greatly. Huge. I've seen myself shift from reality to reality, and things are just slightly different. You can tell even your way to work is different. It's much more smoother, quicker. Everything just flows differently when you're in that ease of fluidity of life, and you're switching yourself from reality to reality, because remember, everything is holographic. There's a holographic image of you on a holographic image of Earth, and so on and so forth. Infinite. It's infinite, really. And depending on where you're vibrating at that minute will position where you're going to slot yourself and where you're going to align yourself with. That's why I always talk about in the private alignment sessions that I work on. I help people allow themselves to see where they're aligned at. And then we work on opening that alignment up. And how can we align ourselves with spirit? How can we align ourselves with the soul and what the soul's purpose is? And then we get that pure alignment where people can really feel free to be who they are, and be exuberant and excited about who they are for the first time in many years. And although some people have said my sessions there's so much information. I think I do about 2 hours, usually about 2 hours, because I give so much information. Some of it's channeled, obviously. And because I want to set people up for exploring as many aspects of themselves as they can. There's so much to be explored. There's so much to live and experience. And the more that we open ourselves up to that expansiveness, then the more you're going to create opportunities for yourself. And so it depends on where you're resonating at, and how much you've healed, and how much you've forgiven, and how much you're sending unconditional life out, that you'll be getting it right back as well, and will allow yourself to see where you're vibrating at and where you want to continue to vibrate at. Because remember, it's always by free will. And you don't have to choose to ascend. You don't have to choose to work on your soul's evolution. You can choose to stay right where you are exactly. But then there's also that notion, well, if you choose not to act, then you need to not, complain about it, because it takes action to change. And that's the hardest part, is to take that first step. But that first step, once you take that first step, the next one is so much easier, and so on and so forth. And then you're on this path. That's why we call it the path work, because it's less and less work each time you do something, because the energy is flowing with you. You're creating the energy that's going to catalyze you in a whole new direction that you've never even thought of before. And it's quite natural, and it's quite easy, and it's doing really all the work for you, because the thing that's making you move is the intention. It's that energy from your heart chakra, and you're connecting that mind as well. You're being more of a whole being as opposed to being only the partial. And so on those holographic images of Earth, you can choose to be on whichever one you want. So if it's your purpose and it's your intention to be involved with higher contact, it's your intention to be involved with the landing parties, so to speak. It's your intention to be involved with allowing people to talk freely about these things. It's your intention to do all these other creative, wonderful, expanding aspects. Then as long as you're resonating in that vibration and you can see yourself and visualize yourself in that vibration of whatever reality that is, and give yourself, I always give myself, that visualization playtime where, I say, I'm resonating at that ninth dimensional aspect of myself, that shaman, that scientist aspect of myself, the creative person that likes to create and enjoy and change ideas at a moment's notice. And I give myself that level of energy that I need to raise myself to. And how do I get myself to that level? And then I start working on what do I need to look at today that will make me glow and shine at that level. And it's always allowing yourselves to climb a little higher and a little higher based on what you're focusing within. Because they've always said, from within, so without. And as you're focusing who you are as a person, you're allowing yourself to shine that much more brighter outside, and things around you start falling in place based on where you're resonating at. And so you'll see things start to fall into place around you because you're allowing yourself to slip into those motions and those movements of that energy that you've created. And that's why I've always told people you're powerful creators. If you go to my Facebook, it's probably said 1,000 times. We are powerful creators, and we've never allowed ourselves to believe that. So everything that's in our lives right now, we've created that reflection for ourselves to give us insight on which path to take next or how we can alter our behavior or our beliefs so that we can manifest a better life. That's why we're here. We're here to manifest a better life. I believe not for a minute that we're supposed to be here working like dogs, as I've said many times before, because I want people to wake up to that fact. This life isn't supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be difficult and challenging. We're supposed to be free. We're supposed to be creative and light and loving. We're supposed to be the higher aspects of all the other beings in the universe that have been waiting for us to kind of catch up, although they've been learning many things from us as well. Not to say that it's a hierarchical type of thing, but there's many, many things around the universe and in creation itself that is being gained from our ascension process. Because there's everything that's negative that's going on. There's also that equal positive thing that's going on. It's allowing us to look at how we want to change things. So when you see things that are upsetting, when you see things you need to change, then take action on it, because we can't change what we don't own. And if we're letting other people own up to it, we're letting other people do that changing and acting, then it's not allowing ourselves, our individual soul, to evolve. And that our evolution process is much slower if we're always relying on other people to do it for us or to come and save us. It's up to us to heal this planet. And to do that, we need to look within, one by one. As we all awaken, one by one will find their way, and they'll find their path. And they'll look online for ascension courses, and they'll look online for alignment classes, and they'll look online for meditation classes. And we're focusing our intentions on the greater aspects of who we are and opening ourselves up to the actual entire universe. The door of the universe is opening to us right now, and we're in that state of mind where we can expand who we are as energy beings and say hello and welcome them in. And it's not for them to save us. It's not for them to take our worried planet away and give us a new one. It's up to us to heal who we are right now, because remember, there's the holographic nature of who we are. There's a holographic nature of Earth. And so when we're healing ourselves within, we're changing ourselves to a new holographic Earth. That new holographic Earth that will be there for us in a healthy state, in a non-toxic state, in an environmentally safe state, where we're not being poisoned through our waters and through our fish and through our animals, and so on and so forth. And we can create that from working from within first. And that's what a lot of people find challenging to get over, is that all of these things that we need to change on our planet is simply changing from within. And we can choose to change from within, and then things around us will change. And so when we're preparing for contact, we're preparing for the higher realm aspects of who we are. Because a lot of the times too, if you do have those UFO sightings or if you do have those ET experiences, then a lot of the times they're higher aspects of who we are, allowing us to tap into that energy so that we can also ascend with them. Because as we ascend on this level, on this particular holographic Earth, the other Earths are coming with us as well, because we're pulling them up. Because remember, we are all connected. It's like a huge universal web. And as one cog in the wheel moves up, the other one does as well, and so on and so forth. So as we're ascending as a holographic Earth on this level, this one also ascends, and so on and so forth. We are all connected. We're all interrelated. So my energy is your energy, and we're feeding that back and forth to each other. And I've always told people there's no accident on the people that are tuned into these things, because their energy has drawn them here for a particular reason. You might not understand or get everything that is said throughout this 25-minute webcast. There might be one thing that might tweak within you to change and alter, because your soul has guided you there. Your higher self has guided you there for something to look at a little bit deeper. And so when we cherish these moments, that everything is pre-designed, everything is destined, and it's up to our free will to act on it. It's up to our free will to change our outside reality. And that's what's exciting, is that we don't have to leave it in anybody else's hand. I've always been someone that's acted. I've never been one to sit by and watch other people do anything for me. I want to be responsible for my life, and I want to be responsible for where I choose to go and how I choose to get there. And so it's exciting when I have that ownership, I have that power within to change all those things around me. And when I started taking on that power, things changed within the next day. And literally things can change overnight. I've told people that, and I've had countless experiences. And some of them will be in my book so that people can actually see the tangible evidence that things really can change overnight, depending on how you're willing to work from within. And you really grab a hold of that and change who you are, and change that soul that's waiting to get out and ready to burst, because it's tired of being confined. It's tired of being held down in the darkness of that veil. The veil has been lifted off a long time ago, and ascension isn't something that we're going to step to. Ascension is right here and right now. We're acting within ascension right here. So it's not like we have to go anywhere for it. Remember, everything is within. There's only here and there's only now. So your vibrations can change here and right now. So in this moment, take the moment to visualize how you want to feel. What level of reality do you want to vibrate at and resonate at? And get a picture of that in your mind. And then start building emotions around that. How does that energy feel for you? How does that being feel for you? Does it feel free? Does it feel loving? Does it feel unconditional? Does it feel creative, inspirational? Does it feel compassionate? All of those things. Get those emotions behind that intention of how you want to visualize that holographic image of you, and then put the emotions and the energy behind it. And then that really propels you forward and propels you upward, because that's what your soul wants. Your soul wants to play. Your spirit wants to be a spirit again. It doesn't want to be stuck behind the body with beliefs that don't work, with beliefs that hold you back, with beliefs that make you feel bad and shameful and negative. So when you're working through all that, you're shedding it, you're letting it go, and you're allowing your spirit to be, and you're aligning yourself with who you truly are. And that's why we call our Center for Ascension Resonance and Remembrance, because we're remembering who we're resonating at, who we've always been. We're connecting with that again. We're relinking ourselves with that higher aspect of how we can resonate. And then your meditations start to change and your experiences start to change. You meet people you would have never met before. You're getting phone calls out of the blue because this energy is so compelling. This energy is so magnetic, and people are drawn to you. I can't tell you the number of times that these things have happened. It's real. It's not something that's just airy fairy and conversationalist. It is real. So if you change yourself from within, you look at all these things as if you're a holographic image, and there's a variety, infinite number of versions of you that you could choose from. Choose the higher version. How did that person get to that higher state? Choose those higher states, because you're working from within to the way out. And then you can act that way. You can be that way. And then you start seeing things around you filter in, because you are that higher resonating person in that holographic version of where you want to resonate at. And then everything around you changes. Our waters start to clear up, and our air is less toxic, and our food is less toxic. We're eating less of the bad things and more of the good things. And people around us start to shift as well, because you're also exuding that to others. And there's not one person that I haven't met that hasn't been changed by a conversation. Some way and somehow, at some time, something will click in and allow them to feel better about who they are. And that's what I'm passionate about, allowing yourselves to feel more fully who you are, and that you're free to be who you are every second of the moment of the day. And it's your free will and choice to do that, regardless of what anybody says around you. And you don't have to shrink and be small to kind of fit in. Be bold and be brave. Be courageous and walk your path, because it's meant for you to walk on. It's meant for you to be here at this time, to move forward in powerful ways. It has to be. You've designed it that way. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't your next step to do so. And that's how powerful you are. At the spirit and at the soul level, you planned and you designed it to be this way. You would have certain signposts to allow you to get on that path and magnify yourself and propel yourself in directions you never would have imagined. So it's much more than just going to work every day and putting in your 8.5 hours and getting your paycheck. It's much more than that. You're connected at the greater aspect of the universe, the greater aspect of the stars and the moons and the stars and the suns of different planets, because you're an aspect out there, in here, because it's all here within. And it depends on where you're vibrating at within that you can see and experience those aspects. So that's what I get excited about, obviously, as you can tell. So please tune in. Probably might do another webcast this week, but we have some exciting news about this Saturday. I think it's this Saturday the 15th. Check my calendar. But Saturday the 15th, I have my class Preparing for Contact. I usually have it on the middle Saturday of every month. So March 15th at 1 o'clock. Log on to the website and you can sign up for that. And we talk about these sorts of things, but we talk about also experiences and visitations and dreams and all that kind of fun stuff. And then at 4 o'clock, we're talking to Daryl Anka. And he's been an international channel for about 30 years, along with many, many other things that he's been doing. He's got a long list of diverse accomplishments, and we're so excited to talk with him. He's been one of my favorite wisdom teachers for many, many years, and he was the catalyst on my path. So it's very, very exciting for me to talk with him and to allow us to share his insights on how you can propel yourself into higher vibrational realms and allow yourself to experience that as well, because he's truly a master at it with what he's accomplished and how he's had that inner sight from the higher well-being that he channels. So it's pretty exciting. So join us for that interview. It's right here on Spreecast, I think 4 o'clock. Yeah, 4 o'clock on the 15th. So please check the website because there's a lot going on. And then my book will be ready sometime this summer. So please check our website. We're going to be doing some changes on our website to include all of that. And it's called Preparing for Contact. And it's going to have a lot of these things that we're talking about in these webcasts and in our classes so that people can actually take that tangible, practical work and use it at home and allow themselves to remember who they are, the greatest, most widest aspect of that energetic pattern, that energetic web of glorious gorgeousness, because that's who we are. We're patterns of light, we're patterns of energy, and we're all connecting with one another through those energy patterns. And so if you can choose to act every day from your heart, I always tell my kids, my heart loves your heart, and I allow myself to feel from my heart first before I choose anything to think. I ask my heart what it chooses to feel at that moment and allow my heart to guide myself. And then we're acting from the realm of spirit. We're acting from the realm of those higher beings that are connecting with us now. The Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, they're all connecting with us now because we're being more heart-centered. We're allowing our hearts to guide us in those higher thoughts. That's how they act all the time. That's how they behave all the time. That's why they have no fear, no doubt. They have no worry. They don't have emotions like that. It's all love and feeling from the heart. And allow yourself to feel and guide that for you, because we are energetic beings. We're live beings, and that will be always guiding you in the right direction. And it's your intuition, it's your higher self, it's your spirit self guiding you to where you need to be. And it will never fail you. It will never steer you wrong. And if it does steer you on a path that's challenged, because you need to learn that lesson. That's how we ascend. That's how we expand. And then you bless that lesson, and you always give gratitude for no matter what you're moving through. So if you're moving through something challenging or you're going through something dark, first start off with gratitude, because there's so much to be grateful for. We've given our lives to be here at this time because there's so much change and so much acceleration, and we've chosen to be here. So be grateful for all that you have. And if it's materially not enough, or if it's material and nothing at all, that's okay, because you have your breath and you have your heart and soul. And that's what's required to move you into a better space, because it is holographic, remember. So if you take that from that heart-centered and you move yourself holographically to that resonating earth that you choose to resonate at, there's nothing that can stop you. And I've seen it happen, and it's tangible. It's real. So we've got 2 exciting classes happening this Saturday. So please join us for Daryl's. It's free, and it's going to be just a little teaser for what his class will be like. That's going to be booked, I think, in the spring sometime. We're still working on some dates because we have so much going on, the 2 of us. So And then we've got Life on the Mothership with Suzanne Lee. There's 2 classes that she's going to be doing the next 2 weeks, up to April 5th. And then my personal alignment sessions, they're always being booked as well. I do a couple a week, so please feel free to log on there. And then Monday nights, I'm also doing alignment meditations, and they're $12 each, and it's a webinar platform. So people log in, and we do just similar what we're doing right now, and we just exude that positive, powerful energy to align you for the next day and for the week ahead. So we do that on Mondays, Mountain Time, 8 o'clock. Yeah, so there's lots going on. So please feel free to connect with us. We have Facebook, our website, and then obviously this free cast on Twitter and Google. I think we're all over the place. But I usually like to spend my time here on Facebook because it's quick and it's what I normally have the most access to. And then check out our website for all the upcoming classes. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And for anybody else that's tuning in at a later date, please feel free to connect with us this Saturday at 4 o'clock. And then my class, I think, is at 1, preparing for contact and allowing ourselves to be the highest, most loving vibration that we can be as spirit and souls, and allowing us to climb into the patterns of New Earth, into the holographic images of New Earth, and the holographic images of yourself in that beautiful, gorgeous, energetic aspect and patterns of who we are. And I wish you the most glorious and magnificent week ahead. There's a couple of days left, but please make it magical because it's who you are and it's what you deserve. So dear friends, my love, my namaste to you. Love and blessings. Mwah. And you have a wonderful week ahead, and we will see you online. We will see you in class. Stay positive, stay endless and infinite, and be powerful, magical creators. Okay, goodbye, my dear ones.